Is it possible that Peter Obi wins 22 states, but there is a problem? Is it possible? I know the last time we did an analysis and found a path to victory in 22 states for Peter Obi. Today we're going to look at that figure again because something else came up. If the voter turnout remains as it was in 2023, will the 22 states that Peter Obi wins, will it be enough? Let's go through it, starting from exactly how the picture was in 2023. So we have this image right in front of you. This is the map showing how the elections went in 2023. The green represents states that Atiku won. The red represents states that Tinubu won, APC. And the blue represents states that Labour Party, Peter Obi, won in 2023. And then, of course, the orange color represented Kano, that Kwankwaso won. Now, if you look to your right here, you see that Tinubu got 36% of the vote with 8.8 million votes. But he had the required spread, even though he won just 12 states, but he got 25% in 29 states. And by the Electoral Act, you need to have 25% in at least 25 states, including the FCT, for you to be declared winner. So in terms of spread, in 2023, Tinubu had the spread. Atiku came second, as you can see, with 29% of the vote at 6.9 million votes, but he did not have the spread. Even though he won 12 states, he only got 25% in 21 states. So Atiku in 2023 did not get the spread. Peter Obi came third, even though it's showing NDC now. Of course, you know, in 2023, it was Labour Party. We're trying to model something here to see what happens if, using the same voter turnout in 2023, and Peter Obi wins 22 states, if he can be declared winner. Is winning 22 states enough? Will it be enough for him to be declared winner in 2027 with the same voter turnout of 2023? That's what we want to look at. The voter turnout in all was 25% of all 93 million registered voters. So let's see. Peter Obi came third. He got 6.1 million votes and got 25% of the total votes cast. But in 2023, even though Peter Obi won 12 states, he did not have 25% in 25 states as required. He only got 25% in 16 states. So let's do the analysis. What you have here is a model scenario where each of the states are represented. Remember, Peter Obi won 12 states, including the FCT, Lagos, Edo, Delta, all the 5 southeastern states, including Cross River, and then he won the FCT, won Nasarawa, and won Plateau. Yes, so that's how it stands. But what if we decided that, okay, in 2027, Osun actually goes to Peter Obi, and Osun and Oyo actually go to Peter Obi. Osun is about 809,000 votes. Sorry, Oyo is about 809,000 votes. Osun is about 739,000 votes. So if we flipped Oyo in 2027 and flipped Osun, Peter Obi goes up to second place immediately with 6.78 million votes. Where else? In 2023, Atiku won Bayelsa with and Bayelsa was 165,000 votes. So if in 2027 Peter Obi flips Bayelsa, Rivers was 520 something thousand votes. Peter Obi flips Rivers. Akwa Ibom was 565,000 votes. Peter Obi flips Akwa Ibom in 2027. The total number of states that Peter Obi would have won so far will now be 17, and his total number of votes would have come to 6.9 million votes. Now, remember, there were some funny things that happened in Benue. So in Benue in 2023, Benue went to Tinubu APC with 48% of the vote, and that's 779,000 votes. If in 2027 Peter Obi flips Benue with the same voter turnout of 2023, it means that you have an additional 700,000 votes for Peter Obi. Now he has won 18 states, but with spread, 25% spread in 19 states. Of course, Kano, we project that it will go to Peter Obi. Kano was 1.7 million votes in 2023, and it was won by Kwankwaso. So, with Kwankwaso being the vice presidential candidate of Peter Obi now, if we flip Kano to Peter Obi, immediately we see that Peter Obi has won 19 states, and now he has 7.9 million votes. So where else? We now also projected that Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba will go to Peter Obi in 2027. Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba went to Atiku in 2023, but in 2027 we're flipping Bauchi for Peter Obi. That's about 854,000 votes. We are flipping Gombe for Peter Obi. That's about 500,000 votes. We are flipping Taraba for Peter Obi. That's about almost 500,000 votes. In all, you will see that Peter Obi then jumps to number one position with about 8.6 million votes. Bola Tinubu remains second with 34% of the vote with 8.3 million votes. But you will discover that even though Bola Tinubu now has won only 9 states, he still has the spread because he has 25% in 28 states. What does that mean? It means that Peter Obi may win 2027 and win all these 22 states, including Oyo and Oshun. He may win it if the voter turnout remains the same at 25%. Then Peter Obi will not be declared winner. There will be need for a runoff, because he would have won 22 states, but he will still not have gotten 25% in 25 states as required. What does this mean? So it means that definitely winning 22 states in 2027 is not enough. Voter turnout does indeed matter, and voter turnout will play a very significant role in 2027. Now, we are going to model something before we come back to the conclusion and what needs to be done. We're going to model a situation whereby Peter Obi actually is able to get more voters to turn out in the South and Southeast states. Just South and Southeast states. So we're going to change the model now. We're going to go back to 2023 and we're going to model Peter Obi winning with high Southeast and South turnout. High Southeast and South turnout. All right. So what is this going to mean for us? This is just hypothetical. So if we go now with what we projected, 22 states, we left Lagos for Peter Obi, Ogun. Okay, this is still, it's not in, so we need to go into the modeling mode. Ogun goes to Tinubu, Oyo remains with Peter Obi, Osun remains with Peter Obi, Ekiti goes to Tinubu, and Ondo goes to Tinubu. But of course, Peter Obi takes Edo, Peter Obi takes Delta, Peter Obi takes Bayelsa, Peter Obi takes Rivers, Peter Obi takes Akwa Ibom, and Peter Obi takes Cross Rivers. Also, we project that Peter Obi takes Benue, Peter Obi takes Nasarawa, Peter Obi takes FCT, Peter Obi takes Plateau, Peter Obi takes Bauchi, Peter Obi takes Gombe, Peter Obi takes Taraba. What else? One more missing. Peter Obi takes Kano. Now you'll see that with that figure alone, of course, we leave Niger for APC and Kogi for APC. Kaduna is most likely going to go to APC. Even Zamfara is most likely to go to APC. And okay, we can leave it like this. Borno is definitely APC. But let's say we give Taraba to Atiku, Jalingo, Jigawa to Atiku, and Sokoto definitely to Atiku, maybe Kebbi to Atiku. So, if Peter Obi wins 22 states, the same 22 states, remember, look at it here, but with higher voter turnout in the South and Southeast states, Peter Obi automatically becomes winner because he will win 22 states with 25% spread. Atiku will come second with this projection, and Tinubu will come a distant third. Of course, if we're able to get more voters to come out, you'll find out that Peter Obi will win with 16 million votes, Atiku will come second with 11 million votes, and Tinubu comes third with 9.8 million votes. Of course, even though Atiku wins only 4 states, he will not have the spread. Tinubu will win 18 states. Oh, sorry, not 18. Tinubu will win 10 states, but he will not have the spread. So for Peter Obi's 22 states to be meaningful, remember the blue represents Peter Obi. He needs to get voters in the South and Southeast geopolitical zones to come out and vote. Yes. It means that it is not just enough for Peter Obi to win those 22 states that we have projected. It will be good if he just wins them. But from what we have modeled now, if the voter turnout remains low in 2027, the way it was in 2023, which was about 25% of total voter turnout, then winning 22 states will not be enough for Peter Obi to be declared president in the first run. There will need to be a runoff election because he would not have the spread. But if Peter Obi is able to get good number of voters to come out from the South and Southeast geopolitical zones alone, good number, then that same 22 states win can give Peter Obi 16 million votes and give him the required spread. So you see, winning the state is not important enough. It's not good enough. He needs voter turnout. So for those that are going to be helping Peter Obi in the campaigns, remember, we have said it, traditional campaign is not going to do Peter Obi much good because number one, it is slow, it is inefficient, and it is expensive. Between now and January, there is not enough time for Peter Obi to engage traditional campaign in order to achieve the 22 states victory that he has and defend it, right? So traditional campaign will not be enough. Of course, he will need to engage structural campaign. We have mentioned it. Now, this is a job and a task for Peter Obi, for Rabiu Kwankwaso, for you to get the figures and get the spread in the first run of election. You need to work on the South-South and the Southeast. If you get the numbers to come out very well in the South-South and in the Southeast, you will have sufficient number and sufficient spread to be declared winner in the first round. Now, let me also shock you. If we go back to our model, in the model, let's say we flip Oyo to Tinubu, we flip Osun to Tinubu, you see that Tinubu's victory here increases to 12 states, but he still doesn't have the required 25 state spread. He doesn't have 25% in 25 states. You'll see that Peter Obi's win may have reduced to 20, but he still has the required spread. So even with, and this is interesting, even if Tinubu wins all the southwestern states, and of course Peter Obi wins Lagos, Peter Obi still wins the presidency. So far he keeps the South-South, the Southeast, some states in the Middle Belt, some states in the Northeast, 3 states in the Northeast, and 1 state in the Northwest. Of course, we projected that this will go to Tinubu. So Tinubu will have won 13 states, but he will still not have had the spread. So what does this tell us? It tells us that Tinubu can win the whole of the Southwest, minus Lagos, and Peter Obi can clear the whole of the South-South and Southeast, clear FCT, Nasarawa, Plateau, Taraba, Benue, clear Kano, and be declared president, because he would have had 16 million votes and the required 25% spread in 25 states. So what does this tell us? Again, it tells us that spread. It tells us that voter turnout is critical. Voter turnout is critical. Voter turnout is critical. If voter turns out very, very well for Peter Obi in the South-South and Southeast geopolitical zones alone, and Peter Obi manages to take the states that he took before and flip some states, particularly Kano and Bauchi, Gombe and Taraba. If he flips those states, Peter Obi is the next president. Again, we cannot stop without saying that this Peter Obi's victory is almost guaranteed. Peter Obi has the popularity to win. What he needs is the structure and the messaging to defend this victory at the polling unit. Many people have suggested that, oh, Peter Obi should start, and the NDC and Kwankwaso should start with their agents now. I want to add, we're not talking about agents at party level. Whatever list you come up with of agents that will be submitted by NDC to INEC, that list is the primary list. I want to beg Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso, please, outside of the official list that you will send to INEC, come up with another list of at least 10 volunteer agents. We call them polling unit marshal. 10. We as Vote Watch are targeting 3, but you can do 10. Come up with at least 10 agents, PU marshal per polling unit, outside of what NDC will present. And the reason for this is not far-fetched, so that one will watch the other. The truth is, we cannot rule out the possibility of some of those agents selling out. Many people are trying to infiltrate the NDC right now to put themselves in position to be agents when they are actually saboteurs. They are wolves in sheep's clothing. On election day, many of them will sell out. many of them will sell out. Not me, will. So you will need the backup of volunteer PU marshals or agents to put watch on those ones so that you can protect the vote from the polling unit. Remember, 2027 can only be won at the polling unit. Whoever loses at the polling unit, forget even going to court, because you will lose. Again, it is important to note that traditional campaign will not pay Obi because the time is not enough. 5 months for traditional campaign is not enough, and it's too expensive. Not necessarily too expensive, it's expensive because of course you can always raise the fund, but the efficiency is not there. You need structural campaign, right, to make sure that Peter Obi is able to get the numbers out in the south and in the southeast, and then he's declared winner in the next election. In the next video, we're going to look at some more projection, see what happens if Peter Obi flips Kaduna, does flip Kogi. The win goes to about 17 million, provided that the voter turnout is high. That's a job for us. That's work for us to do.